Hi, Tracy. Hello. Okay, good. So that's working. I'm going to turn this down. How's it going? Ooh. Okay. Kind of have a weird time slot. I didn't mean to interfere with anybody else's, but I have quite a bit of work to do. So yeah, I'm gonna wait till there are some more people that come in. Let me see. Probably want to do. I don't really want to do this. And get logged into YouTube. No. Switch account. There we go. No, it's so tricky. Okay. Let me make sure. Okay, good. It's muted. Okay, good. Wait, am I mirrored? Is this mirrored? Mirrored. Okay, yeah. Okay, yeah, there we go. Okay. So, shit. Okay, hold on 1 second, guys. Hi, guys. Hi, ACB. Hi, Tracy. Hi, Yamama. Hi, Owl. ACB, you asked way too many good questions that I have no answers to. So I'm just warning you up front. I'm just here to tell people all the stuff that's been taken out of context, but purposely. So hi, Carol. How's it going? Let me make sure. Oh, shit. Okay. So, hold on real quick, guys. I got a call. Yeah, I have no answers. Hi, Oldmore. Hi. On the ear hustle. Okay. Hold on 1 second, guys. Okay, hopefully you guys can hear me. Hi, Lana. Hi, Rebecca. Hi. Yeah, so there's been another smear campaign, of course. And I'm going to do that temporarily. Nope. Okay, so this, actually, I need to find the one that has this, which has been circulating by hi artist. Oh boy, this is not going to be. I really don't want to have to log into Twitter on my computer because, like, okay, can you guys kind of see that? So, woman is reposting HCC's post of me in Prof's chat saying, and framed Rick. And Luke lied about it last night on Snae's Live. And basically, if you go into Prof's chat, he was asking what was Luke lying about about you in Snae's chat. And I was saying that the lie was that they said I was saying and framed Rick. So that wasn't the case at all. That's not at all what I said. And of course, this is a very bad faith move. So I'm going to basically, let me find what I wrote. So let's see. Okay, so basically, hi Shibby, hi. Yeah. I never said that Ange framed Rick. I asked why Ange lied about knowing Dawn. And you guys know that Dawn is friends with a lot of people on both pro-prosecution, pro-defense, family advocates, troll farm people. Like, she knows pretty much everyone. Yeah. Well, it's a smear. It's all a lie. Thank you guys. Thank you. But that's how you know that these people aren't good faith, is that, like, I don't know what woman knows. Woman used to be my friend, so I mean, take that for what it's worth. But the fact that, like, HCC was probably in that chat and knew better is very suspicious. But I mean, he says he hasn't harassed me, and that's fine. If that's what he wants to believe, and if I throw a pity party, then he'll say that I am playing the victim. So I'll just, pretty much the receipts are up on my community page, and that can speak for itself, however you want. I didn't see a woman either, sweet dude. I don't know if she blocked me, but it doesn't matter. People are entrenched at this point, and the truth does not matter. So, and then also being called despicable by Osbrook was, in my opinion, despicable. I think time will show how that will play out, but I'm trying to be gracious and patient and calm. So, because every time I speak, I misspeak, or I speak out of turn, or whatever it is, they are there to, jump right on it. And I've been called a liar by not only Osbrook and Rick Snae's chat, but I've been called a liar by Shaboogies and by Judge Jessica and a lot of these people surrounding Angela. And they said that there was this campaign to harass Angela, and no. I will go and show you guys, but it was very obviously, it started with Uniparty, and it grew from there. So let me see. I think I have to actually let me get this up on my phone because then I can see it. Oh, and for the record, here is one of the police reports, the Avondale. Now you guys know that about me. Police department. Okay? And that's all I have to reveal, right? I don't really have to reveal anything. Hi Deb. Hi everybody coming in. But yeah. So and for bigger creators to play the victim, for a professional habeas attorney who's on, who's like secretary on a board of defense attorneys for the state of Indiana, to be coming after, I'm not, okay, fine. I'm not playing the victim, but I beg you to ask the question, like, when is that ever justified? I don't ever see it as being justified. So, okay, let me see if I can do this. I'm gonna present, share screen. But outwardly lying about people is just, I think despicable, and they've been doing this quite a bit. So here's this. Let me do this. Post. Hopefully it's coming up. Okay, but I will walk you through everything now. Hopefully this is not too dark. Oh my God. Don't make so many flipping community posts. Okay. So basically this happened a month ago. It's late May right now. I think this actually happened in early April, because Simba died on the 10th of April, and this was before he passed. So this was basically the, let me see if I can make this bigger. Yeah, this was the infographic that I made that, I guess, whatever, doesn't matter. But I'll read to you what I wrote, just in case you guys didn't read it. But it says, so this was early April, this year. It says the biggest voices in this case on both sides aren't opposing forces, but two heads of the same snake, serpent. The disinformation, drama, leaks, and manufactured faction wars all serve a specific agenda. The people shaping this case aren't random voices. They're part of a much larger network where everyone knows each other on a first-name basis. These actors, whether plants, shills, grifters, gatekeepers, chaos agents, criminals, etc., all share a common goal: to bury the truth. Why? So for years, everybody in this community, we've watched a crime scene become a stage. Planted online personas posing as sleuths, activists, or advocates have actively worked to mislead, dox, and derail. These strategic actors, some with ties to law enforcement, others with criminal backgrounds, many hiding behind avatars and usernames, collaborated to control narratives and suppress opposition. They weaponized smear campaigns, extortion, gang stalking, and all other methods of harassment to silence anyone asking the wrong questions. Their goal was never to solve the case, but to protect something rotten. So while they masquerade as pro-prosecution, pro-due process, or pro-family, these factions remain friendly and cordial with one another behind the scenes. And Uniparty has proven itself, in my opinion. There have been many streams since the Meme Girls stream, but I mean, when people who are adamantly Rick Allen is innocent are hanging out with and, you know, talking smack about other people with people who are Rick Allen is 100,000% guilty. That's a pretty good indicator of Uniparty, in my opinion. So, so all these factions remain friendly and cordial with one another behind the scenes. They all share knowledge and have access to or ties with those in power, spanning organized crime, law enforcement, mainstream and social media, public and court officials, etc. So why? So much can be understood from what's left unsaid. The bad actors and their actions are never called out. And this is basically what catapulted me into this this campaign of getting just annihilated, in my opinion. Like, yeah, I mean, yeah, again, I'm going to keep my cool. So the community has been played the fool for far too long in a prolonged, coordinated, psychological operation. There's just no way about it. There's no, you know, yeah. I mean, sorry, I do have some other questions coming in and stuff. So, hi, everybody coming in. Sorry if I didn't get to say hi to you. But it's, you know, I will say Alex was the one that had seen this for a long flipping time, and nobody believed him because he's Alex, which is what makes him brilliant. And I don't care if you're going to call me a pick me or whatever. He's a good person. He's been smeared. Prof has been smeared. The Christine and Erica have been smeared. In my opinion, Kathy Allen has been smeared. I don't appreciate the tactics used in this, but I mean, I guess it's the internet, but it's still like, I thought we were all here on a true crime case to get to the truth. And it turns out we ran up into a brick wall of a bunch of people obfuscating the truth. And they get to go on consistently on larger channels and they get to lie about people. Basically, that's what Snae's chat was yesterday. His live stream yesterday was nothing but lies. And, you know, if you don't have all the receipts lined up linearly in chronological order, ready to go, and it takes like hours sometimes to explain some of the nuances of this stuff, just because there's so much of it. This case has been going on for so long, and there have been so many bad actors that have infiltrated the space. So this is kind of what kicked the hornet's nest, in my opinion. I mean, I wanted to talk about, you know, Fig around the time that we did the Gatekeepers of Deception, which was basically one of Alex's folders in his crime archive, the Delphi crime archive. And that spiraled, mostly of my own doing. Like, I'm not a perfect person. Stupid shit happens, and I often Clip it, guys. Clip it. I'm often behind it. So it just makes me human, but it makes me capable of being accountable when I'm wrong. And so this is what kicked it off. And then let's go to the thing that really set it off. Oh my God. Okay, it's going to make me scroll all over again. Let me find it. Let me find it. Where are you? Okay. So this is really what tipped it over, because like I'm a small enough channel, they can ignore the Uniparty thing and they can be like, oh, look at the dumbass that just believes anything that she's told. You can clip that again, of course. Anyway, so, and I did edit this before I came on to, further clarify things, because at the time that I wrote this, the contract had not been given to Prof to release. So this is what I was hearing from people, okay, that are close to Kathy Allen. And well, I'll just read it. So, some thoughts on what's been happening behind the scenes. I want to speak honestly and carefully about something that's been weighing on me regarding the Delphi case, specifically the situation involving Kathy Allen, Richard Allen's wife. In April 2024, over $40,000 was raised by the public with the express purpose of funding expert witnesses for Richard's defense. Many of us supported this effort, believing it would help level the playing field in a case that already raised serious concerns. But now, in April 2025, I've learned that little, if any, of that money has been spent. Now, there is a rumor that $12,000 of it went to, I believe, the phone expert. But, and Prof can clarify with that, because he has gone over what the court has paid out. And, I would have to, I would have to go and like look through that to really verify that. I don't know where it says that $12,000 was spent on the defense expert for the phone. So little, if any, of that money was spent. The trial came and went. Richard was convicted, and those funds are still just sitting. So if the funds are accessed at all, it should be through public channels and clear communication. From what I understand, in early April, a contract was drafted and presented to Kathy by a well-known attorney in order to access these funds. And then I did an edit to amend, saying the contract would allow for fundraising. It was not necessarily funded by the 2024 funds. Okay, so the 2024 funds would not necessarily be what would be paying the attorneys had Kathy Allen decided to accept the contract. Okay, so Kathy was advised not to sign the contract unless she could amend some of the terms, which was refused as the contract was already perfect. Again, Prof has been over this too, so I mean, he can better clarify all of the nuances. But yeah, so some content creators and private investigators have already signed NDAs with this attorney before any agreement with Kathy was even made. Edited to amend, a creator told someone close with Kathy that they, the creator, had signed an NDA related to investigative work. It is unknown if that investigative work would be done for the attorneys behind the contract. Okay. More disturbingly, other creators are now spreading the idea that anyone questioning this attorney is hurting Richard's defense. Keep in mind, this attorney is not an official member of Richard's defense. Meanwhile, Kathy has remained firm in her boundaries, supported by the original members of Richard's defense team, specifically the original PIs, who have garnered so much hate and harassment. I mean, there's no common decency, really. Like, I don't talk about the murder shit that way. You know, I don't talk about people the way that she's been talked about. And, you know, I don't know everything about her, but I mean, to jump to the conclusion that one of them was like involved with, you know, basically getting mind warping Kathy and getting her to do her bidding or something is just, it's so disingenuous. It's so not true. Okay. So, and while Kathy hasn't formally approved public discussion of the situation, many of us now, and by many of us, I mean the people that were approached with this information about Kathy, being approached by anonymous, well-meaning advocates who feel the situation needs sunlight and sooner rather than later. You know, it was, you know, looking back, should I have waited to get the contract and know what everything was in there? Possibly. But I also did not appreciate the way people were talking about Kathy. So, Lulu. Oh, Keith. Despicable that people who've never spoken to Kathy pretend to speak for her on their YouTube channel. That's fine if you want to believe that, Keith. But I think it's despicable the positions that you guys put Kathy in. So I don't appreciate it. And honestly, it feels like a grift, what you guys have been doing. But maybe you don't know about that. Maybe you're just an unwitting player in all of this. Right? So, to be clear, asking questions is not the same as causing harm, Keith. How I didn't read your first comment. Let me go back. How did the retainer agreement get from Kathy to Prof? And is she aware of his social media presence? Okay, but there's a difference. Prof is a commentator talking about these things. The other person is attempting to, you know, be her representative. Okay? So I don't know, a grift might be someone not being transparent about how they got the retainer agreement from Kathy. Okay, well, hello everyone coming in. I will say that that's your opinion. But I think, you know, if you're being honest, if you're truly being honest and you start looking at the body of evidence, we'll see. I doubt it'll change your mind. I'm just going to make an educated guess right now. So, asking questions is not the same as causing harm. In fact, silence and blind trust in self-appointed gatekeepers could do far more damage. True advocacy for Richard Allen and his chance that justice involves transparency in how public funds are being handled, respecting Kathy's role and her voice in all of this, especially since she is Rick's partner, life partner, and power of attorney. And then accountability when contracts, NDAs, and social media theatrics threaten to overshadow real advocacy. So let's not confuse controlling the narrative with helping the case. Let's stand for support that uplifts, not replaces the family in their time of need. So this is what garnered me a ton of hate, okay? Irrational hate. And not by everybody, you know, but just really bizarre things on like you need medication, you know, you're grifting, you're doing this for attention because like you can't get views or something. Dude, like I don't make money off of this, okay? Even if I did, it's not enough to live on, you know? And some people can do that, but this to me has always been about, oh, like I'm getting closer to the actual truth with the help of the community and people seeing things and bringing them to my attention, smarter people than myself. And to just dismiss this is basically like trying to gaslight the entire community. And at some point, like there's only so much harassment you can do to a person before everybody starts to see that the people doing the harassment are the issue. So, it's okay, guys. It's okay. It's okay. Because, like, see, the thing is, we don't have to harass them because we're right. So, basically, let me address some other things. So, okay. I'm going to have to go into my screenshots. Hold on, guys. Sorry. Okay. So, okay. What Prof was saying and has been saying, well, he's been saying like last night, he was definitely talking about, well, you know, the lies, but I guess it was probably the Friday live from last week where he talked about the funds and the money getting tied up in this case. I should probably stop sharing this real quick. Okay. So, oh, hold on. I'm gonna have to put on got a cat and I've got to put on a light now. Oh, Lulu, ow. Oh my God. Okay, damn. Okay, go over there. Hold on. Sorry, guys. Okay. Okay, hopefully that will, oh my God. It's so bright. Yeah. Hi, everybody. Sorry, I haven't been paying attention to the chat, but let me get to this. Okay. So, I believe last night, Shaboogies made the argument that the reason that we want the chain of custody proven is so that we can prove that Osbrook enhanced the video and that he was the one behind it. No. So we want the chain of custody to find out if the video is discovery or an exhibit. So it doesn't seem to be the same video as what was described by the people who were in court, right? It's okay. If he's being annoying, it's okay. Scare grifters so much. Why does a 501c and a legitimate lawyer scare grifters so much? Lead with loves. Secret fundraising. Well, okay, so it doesn't seem to be the same video that was seen in court, right? So if it wasn't an exhibit, does that make it discovery? I don't know, because of the state. Yes, we are all agreed that the state sucks major balls. All right, let's be honest. MA, I'm assuming all of you guys know who that is by now, said he received the video from AB, Baldwin, okay? So MA then said that Angela got it on Hella's. So I assumed that MA gave it to Ange, right? But Baldwin maybe gave the video as well as other discovery over to MA. This is all alleged, by the way, in order for MA to write the motion to correct error, right? He would have needed some of the discovery. So, and this is just one way that this could have gone down, okay? And this is all speculation because no one has told the truth, right? So there is this potential that the video was given to MA. I'm just gonna say it. Well, no, MA by Baldwin, okay, to write the motion to correct error. And no one is trying to say that MA altered or enhanced the video. No one is saying Luke is working for Lafayette Police. If the video is discovery and it came from the defense, then it was leaked. Okay, that's just, if it's discovery and it's not from the state putting it out because it was an exhibit during trial, entered in as evidence as an exhibit in trial, then it is a leak. But we don't know, right? So, as Prof pointed out, coincidentally, if this is the case, that it's a leak, then it's occurring right as the transfer of representation of Rick's trial attorneys shifts to his new appellate attorneys. So there is this gray area in that interim period where there is, nobody knows who has possession of what, right? It's difficult to tell which lawyer had possession, which group of lawyers had possession of the BG video. So it was an opportune time, potentially, allegedly, for this video to get out to people who could disseminate it to the public, right? Which isn't necessarily a bad thing either. It's just that a lot of people were lied about and dragged for simply asking these questions. And it really felt like a cover your ass moment. And I'm hoping you guys are following this. I'm not a lawyer. I don't claim to understand the law. I'm sure there's so many things I'm messing up right now. But to be gaslit and to be shit talked and lied about as blatantly and as cruelly and as just with the swarm of people, that to me is malicious. Okay, there's something wrong. There's something wrong there. Okay, so let me see. This is all alleged, but that's the gist of the concern. Interestingly, too, okay, MA and CW, hopefully we all know who these people are, also played important roles in the 2024 fundraiser for Rick's expert witnesses, okay? The one that Hennessy was supposedly in charge of. But now this is also speculative and alleged. What we're doing is malicious, Sammy. How? Please explain. How is it malicious? I'll continue reading this, but please tell me how it's malicious, because we're just asking questions. Yeah, sweet dude should be, yeah. So, so allegedly, or, you know, Kathy Allen's close friends have discussed that a huge reason as to why she was less than keen on accepting the PCR, the post-conviction relief contract. You know you are lying, and yet you continue. Please tell me what I'm lying about. See, that's what this was about. I want you guys to ask me, what do you think I'm lying about? Tell me what I'm lying about, and then we can have a discussion. Because all you guys can do is come in with a group of people and make wild accusations about us, but then you never say what it is exactly that we're doing. Okay? So I'm open to hearing like how it is that we're lying, Sammy. Oh, lying about it all. Okay. What was the question? What was the question that I changed? Sharp remarks. I'm just asking. Manipulative AF? Okay, so how? But you didn't come in here with the thing that you're accusing me of as like something to, you know, actually have a discussion about. This is not good faith. Okay? Chain of custody bullshit? That's a genuine question. Discussion is good for the soul. Thank you, hard candy. How many of us are sitting on receipts? Yeah, I don't know. So, yeah. And artists, you know, don't make statements without proof. I have made statements, right, that I have not gotten completely correct, and I have retracted them. And, you know, out of courtesy to Mr. Osbrook, I am not going to say the thing, right, that he keeps accusing me. Bad faith actor, sharp remarks. Okay, but how? Enlighten us. How? Because I'm here. I'm not yelling. I want to know. I genuinely want to know. Yeah. Because, and Mandy is right. We need to know the chain of custody, because I don't want to throw anyone under the bus, but it is now like a matter of, was it leaked discovery? And why do people think that's okay, especially considering how much alleged leaked discovery was floating around before trial even began? And who were some of those same people behind that, right? Post-apocalyptic, you're right, yeah. Yeah. So, and then also like it lends to the nature of it too, because it's like, well, I don't know. Let me stay on track. Okay, so so allegedly, according to what I've heard secondhand through close friends of Kathy Allen, so take that as you will. The end, that's the answers. Okay, sharp remarks. But I mean, if you're going to stay, you have the opportunity to stay right now. So please go ahead and do that. Because otherwise, then you're just here in bad faith, right? And this is a place where I get to speak now, since you guys got to defame me and basically try to harass me into not talking about it anymore. So this is where we are. So, according to Kathy's close friends, a huge reason as to why she was less than keen on accepting that contract that we've all been talking about was because it was being handled by the same individuals involved in the 2024 fundraiser. That's a part of it, okay? that garnered overwhelming criticism from the public and people already convinced of Rick's guilt. Further, questions are still unanswered about where those funds went, right? Are you gonna, I mean, defamed you, but you just went on stage live to lie, and I'm sitting here crying? Am I crying? Am I crying? Because Luke did the same thing? Hypocritical? But you aren't here to say one thing that has, to even ask a question, to find out more about it. So was this the whole thing that you came to do? Yeah. Because, I mean, that's basically what this is right now, isn't it? So nobody needs to gang up on you because, like, we're actually going to give you grace where you guys gave other people none. And we're going to be patient, but what was your, what did you come here to tell me that I got wrong and that I'm lying about? I want to know. I want to know. And the bad faith, the Ange framed Rick comment. I am willing to discuss here. It's a chance. Yeah, I am reasonable. Thank you, hard candy. So, but you guys didn't give me that opportunity. So I have to come here and do it myself. And I appreciate everybody who's shown up in support. Thank you. Because like, why would you take my word for it over somebody that's a larger creator that has been at this longer, so who's getting paid? Yep, redact. ACV, okay. So, yeah. So there are still questions that are very unanswered about where those funds went. So now questions are also being asked about the website, which was originally, it originally mentioned crowdfunding or taking donations, as did the contract. So the contract had something in there about, I think taking, I don't know if it was crowdfunding or donations. Thank you, Rebecca. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Yep. DB was his mod. Yep. So, but in both the contract and then both the website, there were going to be stipulations or ways for acquiring donations or more funds, right? So there is a concern that the money raised would also receive similar backlash as to what the 2024 fundraiser did, right? And or that those new funds would also be unaccounted for. Let's be real. Like, if there's no accountability, if there's no itemized receipt as to where that money went in the first place, I get that it's messy. I get that it, was not well organized. I get that Hennessy is a boomer. I totally understand. My parents are boomers. So, there's a lot of ways that the money could still not be accounted for. But at this point, I think it would have been better to have covered all the bases as meticulously and carefully as possible, because you want people to be on your side, kind of thing, and then also to behave the way that one behaves, and to think that then, like, yes, that is someone I have confidence in giving my money to for fundraising for a railroaded man. I don't know how that works out, but I guess they just assumed that it would be the case. And honestly, I am very disappointed and the people that assumed that they were entitled to have access to not only the attorneys, but, you know, Rick's family and Rick himself. And not being transparent about it, you know, like I get that there are contracts that go on behind the scenes, right? Well, that contract did not go through, so it was then given to Prof. So for people to put out, right? Yeah, they're super strong. Yep. So, but yeah, so there was a fear that, you know, it would spark similar outrage and backlash if there were other fundraising, crowdfunding, donation, raising, whatever. But there was also probably the concern that it would go unaccounted for. Now, that is speculation. I don't know that because Kathy has not told me that, right? So I do feel like those are adequate concerns. On top of the pushback that Kathy received from online personalities claiming to advocate for Rick, I understand her hesitancy to further get caught up in any more of the turmoil that's already been caused. So, yeah. And the emotion-based identity groups battling other groups and the new relations with people. Amen, Iron, yeah. Consultants, that's right. Okay. Yeah. So, but this was mostly, these were notes that I took when I was reacting to what was said about me in T's chat. So I retracted the statements I made about Michael. Doing the thing, going to the door and busting it down, which I never said. You know, that was hyperbole. But I stick by that. I do believe Kathy was treated unprofessionally and unfairly. And yeah, I have no idea why this had to happen, and then why to me, in my opinion, why a temper tantrum had to be had about basically threatening, threatening Baldwin with like, you better not, motherfucker, or I will out you. What does that mean? Like, you'll out him with what? Why? Like, what's so important, you know? What's so important? I'm trying to see if I can make this a little bigger to read. She felt pressured, yeah. So when I said that Kathy felt badgered and pressured, and I mean the campaign just with Prof alone on Twitter, because like it's a pain in the ass for me to get on Twitter. So people will mostly send me things and clips of stuff. But the backlash that Prof got for anything Kathy Allen related, anything website related, and being spearheaded, especially like probably in early to mid-April, being led by the attorney on Twitter was unprofessional. It just was. And I am not a lawyer. You should not take the things that I say about the law as any sort of anything ever, right? But to pick fights with people on the internet and to allow other people to dogpile on them is, I don't know the adjective, actually. Didn't think about it too long. But I mean, those were some of the things that I wanted to address. I mean, there were a lot of other lies that were said about me. You know, all the personal bullshit of like, I just want male attention. You know, I'm just simping for whoever at the time. But yeah, you know, well, I'm not going to get into that. But it's funny the arguments that, or the critiques that get made against females as opposed to males, right? And that, you know, such a woke crowd is fine with that. And don't get me wrong, like I am a proud liberal. I'm not a proud Democrat because they have let me down. But I am a proud liberal, and you know, but I don't appreciate the censorship of things. You know, I don't think we should go calling people's names. Like, you know, Prof has heard me say that plenty of times, right? And especially because then it gives them ammunition to, again, deflect and sidetrack. I mean, I get the frustration too. Like, you know, it's not, yeah, it's good that I'm a better writer than I am a speaker. So, it's good that it takes me a bit longer to like actually think through what I'm going to say because it keeps me from saying things. So, news of, yeah, considering that it hadn't come out yet. Yeah, that's interesting. That is interesting. Post-apocalyptic. Yeah. But yeah, like if anybody has any other questions, again, the bad faith thing that was posted by HCC, clipping the screenshot of Prof when he was live and my little banner saying "and framed Rick," definitely taken out of context, especially for my former friend woman to have posted that was below the belt, you know. And I in fact, okay, so I did say to a friend, I was like, at some point you're going to have to choose between Angela and Rick. And if you're a real advocate of Rick, like you said, you're going to have to put up or shut up. And some people will choose the people that they have parasocial relationships with. So I do think there needs to be some sort of audit. Unfortunately, I think it has come to that because I just don't trust anyone that has now gotten in and around, you know, Rick Allen and any of his lawyers, to be honest. I think that's the best thing the appellate attorneys could have done was just not give this any credence or any sort of anything. And I do think there needs to be an audit, at least on the 2024 fundraiser. Because if you can't show receipts to things, then, you know, and then I do think like, if it turns out that, you know, like the thing is that, you know, like the Shipoogies and the Judge Jessicas and the Sleuthies and all these people are saying like, they'll never be happy no matter what. If it turns out that this was an exhibit, you're right. I'm not going to be happy because you wasted our time. Okay. This whole thing could have been dealt with. If it was an exhibit, tell us the exhibit number, right? You wasted our time. And yeah, audit on Carroll County. Yeah, there you go. Scout, I believe that. Yeah, I do. Because a lot of discovery was out there floating about. Nobody ever did an investigation into that. And that's an excellent point. Yeah, nobody has named the exhibit though, right? Yeah. And at this point, it's like there's so much bad faith with what has been done and the way people have been treated. And, you know, I think it's a testament to a lot of people who didn't give up on me, didn't give up on people like Prof, didn't give up on even like people like Alex. And yeah, we're not your, you know, your superhero team that should be on the cover of any magazines, right? Man, it's not like, you know, we did anything other than tell the truth. We came up into a blockade of like, oh shit, now we're actually going to have to start exploring the people affiliated with Dawn. And we had already, you know, looked at a lot of the pro prosecution people. And of course, we know that, like, hi, Amy, hello. Of course, we know that the figs of the world were helping McClellan get out information. Like, that's known. That would have come up in the contempt hearing. But you know, here, let me share the infographic that just infuriates everyone, but it's worth knowing about. Okay, hold on. Let me see. I have to do this on my phone. That's why it's like always good to have the double monitor. Because people have. Okay, let me see. Am I sharing it? No, I don't think I am. Hopefully it's. There we go. So this is what I've been talking about, guys. And it's actually, there's a giant infographic that I've been working on. You have the person that is saying RA as the initials that she's tipping in her Facebook group in 2020. She's saying RA is are the initials of the person that is her person of interest. And then after Richard Allen is arrested in early November 2022, 2 years later, she's saying, when I posted the initials RA, I was indeed talking about Richard Allen. Okay. So we have people that are very close, and you can go back and see. It'll be interesting to see if HCC keeps it up, but HCC had a live recently, I think it was last Saturday, and Dawn, Angela, Luis Cuevas, HCC, they were all there. They all showed up. They were all in one spot. And so for Angela to lie about knowing who Dawn is, we can go through those receipts too, but is disingenuous. It's just not, I mean, it's misrepresentative. It's not even disingenuous, it's misrepresentative, right? So we know that Angela worked closely with Matt Hoffman. Matt Hoffman worked for the defense team, right? You know, HCC is very close with Dawn. But then Dawn also has all these other connections that go back all the way to the pro prosecution side. So this was just the dummied down version of the chart, because name a bad actor in this case, whether it's Troll Farm, whether it's you know, the pro family, and that's not to say that the family is necessarily bad, but you know, there have been a lot of people that have engaged in a lot of harassment on all these different sides. And so, yeah, it's been a pain in the ass having to go up against the defense side now, because many of these people I consider to be my friends. And many of them were just here to bury the truth too. And that sucks. That really sucks. You know, I would, if for my own legal liability's sake, I'm not going to say names, but I'm like, keep an eye out. Like, have they acted suspiciously in the past? Do they only stay on one subject? Do they never venture out of it? Do they have law enforcement connections? Do they have connections to, you know, maybe motorcycle clubs or, you know, the distribution of illegal substances or, you know, other worse things? Are they a member of the court? Are they a public official? Do they have a lot of money that, you know, but they don't have like a great job, or they don't have a flourishing business? Like, there's so many little things to look for. And that's really the heart of the matter. You can see it for yourselves. Like, you guys have, all of you have helped me see so much. And I don't appreciate the larger creators who don't disavow, you know, the one-tracked mindedness of it all. I don't appreciate being lied about and not having anybody step in and say, well, what makes you say that? Like, what do you have to prove that? I've given you guys my receipts. I do not think Ange framed Rick Allen. I think Dawn, the Facebook admin since 2017 of the Delphi Dilemma, has played a huge role in potentially finding someone to take the fall for this crime, if it ever needed to be. And I know that sounds crazy, but there is a whole body of evidence to suggest that is the case, especially because so many of these people tell on themselves. And Alex's Delphi Crime Archive has all of those receipts. It is difficult to follow when they're not put in like a presentation form. I mean, I have to have Alex telling, like, walking me through everything too. So, you know, and it's been really difficult having to come to terms with all of this, right? You don't want to believe it. You don't want to, you don't want to think this is how society operates. But you know what? I have a feeling that this has been a standard practice in the online true crime community for much longer than we've all been aware of. And I'm sure it's only going to be more of the case as time progresses. But I think we're starting to develop the tools and the vocabulary and the insight as to what to monitor, what to track. And yeah, I guess if I hadn't lived it, it might not seem real, but it's, you know, it's real. And it doesn't mean that it's a grand conspiracy either. It just means that, like, people have had time to infiltrate the space. They've had time to kind of create an infrastructure of how to not only engage in like swarming tactics, like certain tactics, but also like an infrastructure of where to go to kind of plot out like where they're going to go next, what they're going to focus on next. And it's not like a well-disciplined thing, obviously, because had so many people been really bad, had not so many people been really bad at covering their tracks or like giving away their game, we might not be here right now. I mean, I'm just being completely honest. But I do think that like Scout made a very good point. I do to me that everything should be audited, right? Because the feds really only care about money. They weren't going to like insert themselves when people were getting harassed and people were even, getting killed over this shit. But they will more than likely start to care about money. So that needs to be investigated. I doubt that will happen, but the more people who know about it and have it in the back of their minds, the better. And you guys are always welcome to come with receipts to be like, guess what? That didn't pan out. Guess what? Here are the receipts of how it didn't pan out. That's fantastic because that means one less thing that we have to look into, right? But I don't plan on being on this case forever because this has been like a nightmare. So I'm not gonna, play the victim because, that just gets you more hate. But this has been a nightmare and I don't wish this on anyone. I don't think you guys deserve this either. So if there is a bigger collective of people that can come together and show up in force in numbers and say, guess what? We're not going to stand for this shit anymore. Then good on us. We're finally taking back some fucking power. And Brad Blankenship has done so much good work in Northern Kentucky to bring to light so many just really disgusting things. Like, I don't want to go into it really, but to uncover some of the darkest shit that humanity can offer. And, that's just south of the border. So many people have been hurt. So many people have been, I guess, like relegated to being a crazy, untouchable person that nobody gives any credence to. They're just automatically dismissed. Yeah, so much of that has happened in this case, and it doesn't make it, it makes it something that like people need to sit up and pay attention to, because it will continue to happen. It needed to be a RICO a long time ago. The feds know this. They're either building a case or they're continuing to try to sweep it under the rug. But they have a terrorist problem. They have a domestic terrorist problem, rooted in ideologies like white supremacy and, accelerationism and all that bullshit. But yeah, I don't know. Did anybody have like specific questions about kind of what we're talking about? Because like ACV, I have no idea all of the cool questions you asked me before I came on. Yeah. I'm trying to think. I know I forgot like a ton of stuff. There were so many times in the criminality life from yesterday that I stopped it and I was like, no, there were so many times in Rick Snay's live that I was like, no. That was another thing. I think I might have timed out Judge Jessica for 3 minutes, and I know I timed out Mar for 5. And I timed out Mar because she was once my friend as well, but she was talking major smack on me too. And the pettiness got the better of me, and I was like, yeah, I just didn't have to see her for another 5 minutes, So, and it really sucks because like a lot of these people, you get close with over a year and they learn a lot about you. You don't necessarily learn a lot about them, but they learn a lot about you. And then, yeah, it's painful. So, but yeah, now I'm going to take questions if you guys have any. Naked shower selfies. Oh, yeah. I agree, Jen P. Hello. Blurred out the photos, scrubbed social media, they've silenced the community. Yep. They fabricated the full story. I recommend, even though not a fan of murder shit, but the July 15th, 2024 3-part series is definitely worth a re-listen. If I remember, I will link those in the description because they say some things that now make a lot of sense. So I did not finish my flower crowns. I have a lot to do. I have so much to do. But I knew it was going to eat away at me if I didn't come and do this live. And honestly, like, I don't want to have to go grab the receipts, but like, especially the HCC Twitter post of like, and woman retweeting it or reposting it with the and framed Rick thing is completely taken out of context. I don't even know if I can't say that Dawn framed Rick, but I can say that it looks like Dawn was trying to frame Rick, and it ended up being, somebody. She was trying to frame somebody, because there was, as I have now heard through several locals, there was at the time period, like the 2018, 2019, I don't know if it was like through 2020, but there was a time period where there was a group of sleuths that were like keeping track of every male in Delphi and trying to compare them to the old bridge guy sketch and the new bridge guy sketch once that one came out. And so there was some sort of like record keeping of it, it sounds like. And of course, we know from Simon of West Yorkshire, who I still need to talk to about, and I don't know if he would be willing to talk about it, but he said in 2021, I believe that's what he said, the year it was, that he had kind of like outed somebody who was trying to dox Richard Allen. So he reported that person doxing Richard Allen on Reddit, and he believed it to be a female, but that was about it. So we know then that there was probably at least a group of people, maybe it could be like, well, it could be a single individual, but it sounded like there was a group of people that were interested in keeping track of every male in Delphi that could resemble one of the sketches. And interestingly enough, since everybody knows everybody in that town, like considering that Dawn knows the Truth and Justice lady, and the Truth and Justice lady was tight with Ron Logan, and the Shanks were tight with Ron Logan, Kathy Shank then also was able to access records of seeing who would have been at the trails that was male on the day that the girls were abducted and or killed, so there is this, there's this kind of like, you have enough people there that could inform each other as to, let's find a guy, we need a guy. Hi Moonbeam, hello. And that was the contingency plan if things got too hot. And, of course, a lot of people will say, well, how do you know it was getting too hot? I don't. I just have conjecture. The Wabash River search, which was expensive, which then turned up a whole lot of nothing because Keegan Kline is a giant liar. And then, the contentious election in which I think he was another conservative. That's another thing we also need to look into Mike Thomas. Let's be real. Mike Thomas, Stu, and lawsuits of Carroll County, just to keep it vague. We need to look into those things. But what was I saying? The contentious election, the other conservative guy that was going up against Liggett was like, oh, hell yeah, I'll bring back the FBI. So it's like, okay, well, they got rid of the FBI for a reason, right? Like, I don't know. The FBI could have tried harder too, though, right? So, yeah, I'm sorry if I'm missing questions. If anybody has any questions, let me know. Been talking, a little bit. I believe there's concerted coordinated effort to blackmail not only certain content creators, viewers. Yep, I agree with that. I think so too. Yeah, Finlanders. Oh yeah, Brad Blankenship. He's awesome. There's a cell phone overlap. Yep, I agree with that, Scout. Yeah. Not good at sitting very long. Yeah, that's him. That's Brad. Yep. Oh, the geofencing. Yep. Geofencing would have been good. There's a whole lot of things, but I mean, it's pretty, in my mind, it's pretty good to assume that law enforcement tried very hard not to do a good job, right? So, Mama wanted that. Yeah, it was like, yeah, ACV, yeah. The audio, they said the girls said, creepy guy still following us. Yeah, that wasn't true. Shadow banned. Favorite creators chats. That's not normal. Okay. You're a loudmouth, probably like me. Has the best documentary about the Vinlanders and Ferenczi. Okay. That's good to know, Marie Kelly. Thank you. Yeah, we'll definitely check that out. And then I do think Prof's live from last night and the live from Friday are really good. The live from last night it talks about pretty in depth and meticulously, like all the tactics that people trying to cover up something online would use against other people. So, God, the piece they did was against Sue and Ange. Okay. Yeah, just be careful with Sue. She's very litigious. So I hear. I am a loudmouth. Oh, well, you probably speak your mind too openly. I don't know. That's how I feel sometimes. Like, yeah, no. Suddenly just erased 70 days. I don't know. Club 13. Oh, yeah, that's another thing that I was interested in. So I'm interested in Mike Thomas. And kind of like what was going on with the lawsuit of Carroll County. Then I'm interested in the Lafayette Gentlemen's Club or Boys Club or whatever it is that ACV was saying. Thank you, ACV. I'll have to go back and actually like copy and paste that, but that it was more of like an underground thing. It wasn't like a, some direct thing. Satanic design. Yeah, I think that's the go-to when people don't know what to call it. But I hope Pearl Mutter comes up with something that's like neo-cult or something, because it's like, can we get Sue up on a live? Yeah. Sue has been on a lot of CJ's lives actually, and a lot of Dan's lives. And interestingly, I had mentioned that I need to go through Dan's lives and go through and find all of the times that Sue talked about shit because she was fascinating. She was like a political consultant for campaigns, political campaigns. I think for the Republican Party. Her family is connected with like charter boat travel up in Alaska. She said she had some sort of connection with like the trucking supply chain, shipping. She even had like this really interesting story of like how like there were these rogue truckers who didn't come back and they were like making a run with the inventory that was their cargo or something. And she like got to interact with the FBI and like help catch them. And who knows if that's true, but it sounded pretty fun actually. Like, yeah, but who knows? People tell you all sorts of stuff. And the Fouts Club Swinger Group, yeah, you were the one who told me that. BDM, yeah. Messages, the chain captured. Yep, Aries, the 764. Oh, yep. Club 13, all the same. Okay. The cult too, the CVLT cult. Some real Satanists outside the Odinists in the mix. Yeah. How did she come to sue Carroll County? Lives in a different state. Yeah. And then, so I think part of the reason that that lawsuit got thrown out too was because she listed her place of residence as like a building in Michigan that was abandoned. So, and I just remember Dan had like he got me on a call and he was like, "Oh, I'm talking with Sue on the other line. Is it okay if I connect you?" And I was like, "Okay." So there was this three-way conference call, and like Sue had been saying, "Oh, I want to reach out to you. I want to reach out to you and talk to you." This was the summer of last year, and I was like, "Nah." Just a little like, I don't know. And she's like, "Oh, well, if you see my number, don't be alarmed because it's a Washington, D.C. number." And I was like, that's weird because, like, you definitely talk about being in Michigan, kind of far away from like a hospital or something. And she had some sort of condition where I think she wore like a actual monitor of sorts that her doctor could monitor at pretty much all times of the day or something. It was very like, it was very specific and intricate, if you know what I mean. So it was like, okay, so, but ugh, you get to know a lot of these people and what they get up to, their backgrounds and stuff. Yeah, but all the people originating in the same Discord, allegedly, right? Yeah, yep. And then a lot of the Reddits too. A lot of the Reddits, there's a lot of, especially like the mods. It really sucks because like I love the Richard Allen Innocent subreddit, but like if I just go in there and make like a benign statement or like, "Oh, hi, so and so," I get downvoted because people know who I am. So it's just like, oh, okay, well, so that's not a place I can go to anymore. And it is all governed by like people who are willing to obfuscate the truth. Because I remember when I was starting to hear the rumors about the contract with Kathy and then trying to figure out if it had connections to the 2024 funding, I went on Reddit and I tried to like ask questions about it and they were just blocked. They were like, yeah, post-apocalyptic. I could, oh, thank you, Court of Public Opinion. Thank you guys. But yeah, they were they just they didn't even know. One of them was like, "Oh, we'll give you 24 hours to look at it," and I think it was like pro prosecution Delphi subreddit, and they're like they at least like decided to like look it over in 24 hours and then decide not to post it. The other ones were just like automatically not even able to be posted or just like blocked or what, I don't even know what you call that. So Yeah, Scout, that's true. That's very true. Yeah, U.S. government can definitely control the narrative. Yeah, scrubbing social media, paying off mainstream media, news articles. Yep, yep. And, you know, as we've seen on Delphi, um, interpersonal relationships, and then like, especially once they come into like a romantic sphere, sexualized sphere, um, that is a great way to get leverage over people, you know? So, hi, Sunflower. Hi, guys. Sorry if I haven't said hi to everybody, but um, yeah, I feel a lot better because I just need people to know that, like, I'm not an outwardly malicious person. Osbrook says I'm despicable. I disagree with that vehemently. I don't think, I don't know. I don't know why he's continuing to get. Well, I do. I do. Let's be real. I understand that certain creators are either too scared to go against the narrative, or they're not asking the right questions, or they are they are compromised in some way, leveraged, or they're doing something for their friend that they believe in. Unfortunately, see, that's where, like, I'm trying to have a lot of grace for people that have like reduced me to my sexuality and like said really nasty things, because I think those people genuinely don't understand like the backstory of everything, and they're just there upset for their friend, you know? So yeah, Lisa. Freaking the fuck out now. So accurate answer, yes. I don't want to say that like lawyers are, someone very close to me is a lawyer, and I love them very much. And they are a fantastic human being. So I know the lawyer stereotype is wrong. And Atticus Finch in To Kill a Mockingbird was a really great lawyer. I guess the second book is not so good. But yeah. Do you guys have any questions? After 8 damned years, I'm tired of the dog chasing the tail. Yep. Abby and Libby gave so much. That's true. That's true. And it sucks because, like, if this had been anywhere else, I don't think they would have been dead, right? Like, if there wasn't this rampant systemic corruption running through this region, and like, one of the girls' parents, well, I think even Abby's mom was like low level drug dealing, but Libby's dad for sure. And I can't say that's the thing, right? I don't know, but I think if it had been anywhere else, they wouldn't have been killed, and if they had been killed, it would have been solved. And that's not to say that there aren't a ton of places in the U.S. that are just like Delphi, and just like that region, and just like the state of Indiana, like poor northern Kentucky, maybe all of Kentucky. I don't know. I've never lived in Kentucky, but I've never lived in Indiana either. But you guys know what I'm saying. This is both an outlier, and it's the story of America. And that sounds kind of high and mighty and stupid, but like, that is, that's what we're left with, I guess. So yeah. Account register, privately held domain, not Google, not Outlook, not AOL, but a domain that someone owns. Anthony Shots account. Probably. That ACV, that's where I was going. Sorry, guys. Yeah. Beating around the bush, including creators. Yeah. Yeah. Aries, I agree with you. Satanism is a thing. I don't know if it should be called directly Satanism, but it's something that's very dark and wretched. Because there are your troll Satanists, and then there are your like, I don't even know what those people are, like process church weirdos, like I'm from Indiana, systemic, yep, rooted in evil. It is because like as soon as human life doesn't matter, um like the girls they don't get to live a full life, and it wasn't enough for people to um give them the time of day to solve their murders for like the sake of the lives that they weren't ever going to live. Like to me, that's such a disservice. I don't know. And I can't imagine the family being completely okay with it. Either family. You know, I'm sure there's regret. I'm sure there's pain. Um, and I don't know what else, but I don't know. I don't know what I'm talking about. That will get clipped, I'm sure. So, Indiana is very corrupt. Yeah. Here's another question. What's the Beefy Shack website? Ted Bears. What? What? I see. This is like you always like blow my mind, ACB. I never know. It's amazing what you learn in chat, Deb. Yep. Hopefully nothing too raunchy since Shibby was here. Handy for the family to not be looked into is very odd, yeah. When I heard, I think it was last May, when I think Baldwin had put out like another Frank's, because he just kept adding on with it, and he found that he was like, there is no record of any of the family's phones or timelines or interviews or anything. That was scary to me because it was like, okay, but the family then are the people going out and saying where they were, but they're getting that mixed up too. I was good faith and was like, okay, well, I can't remember everything. So why did one of the Ted Bears change the domain registrations for his adult website the week of the 13th of February 26th? What's a Ted Bear? Okay, that's a dumb question, but what is a Ted Bear? A TV, I don't know. Yeah. Family has always known what happens. Solving is the cover up. Yeah, that too. That too, Jay. There's just, it sucks. It just really sucks. And a lot of people got caught up in the tangled web of it and they got hurt. So, Mini Babylon. Yeah. You guys, what's a Ted Bear? I feel stupid. The lawyers generally think this is just too simple. Just a murder procedural only knows otherwise what are claiming it. I think my conspiracy theory that's gonna get clipped is that Andy and Brad did the best that they could by taking what law enforcement had found, connecting it with some sort of criminal element, because the Vinlanders do have ties to criminal elements, right? I don't think they themselves are like an illegal group or anything, but they have connections to whatever, right? Many of them tend to have criminal records. And I think that was the safest way that Brad and Andy were going to broach organized crime. And that it would at least have them looking in a direction that was not Rick Allen. And that was, like, if anything, I always ask, like, why didn't they just pursue Ron Logan? You know? like before trial, it was like, well, maybe they definitely have something on Rick, because why not just, if you're going to do a patsy, put it on Ron Logan, because he beats women, because he, you know, has a ton of guns, and like, you know, he has like a violent record, right? He's more obvious, like his phone is there and stuff, like his house is right there, like he's just a better option, right? Well, no, they went out of their way to make sure that he wasn't the guy, and he would have been the obvious guy if you were to do a patsy. So mm-hmm. Relation. Great question. Yeah. But Johnny Messer met with Baldwin. Oh. But COVID got him. Right, Snoop? I don't know. And then it always has to be a lone wolf narrative too. It's like, it's pretty obvious that this is like a multiple person. There is at least one other person there, right? You know it. I know it. People that are pro-prosecution know it. Tobe and Liggett. I think definitely Tobe, but a lot of guys that were law enforcement knew it. And then it always had to come down to a lone wolf. Well, why? Because nobody wants it in the minds of the public that like, oh, this was a group effort. A group effort, could that imply organized crime? Oh, no. Does everyone see the full Jalen video? No, I haven't. Siegel is to blame. Patty. Yeah. I haven't. I need to. Melvin met with Baldwin. Okay. Alan has balls. Yeah. Sure, that should be. Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, if anybody has any questions in good faith that, yeah, aren't just like, you're a liar, you just lie, you're a hypocrite, you're a liar, hypocrite. It's like, okay, well, can you give me some, you know, some proof of that? Like, what is it that you are saying that I'm lying about and that I'm being hypocritical about? The plural when taunting them. Yeah. Okay, there you go, Nancy Drew. Consultants and investigators hold lots of sway over overwhelmed attorneys in information-dense cases. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. So again, this isn't meant to be a hit piece. There could be completely reasonable explanations, maybe, for a lot of these people, not just like, you know, criminals, but like a lot of the people that we've discussed today. There could be pretty good reasons as to why they're engaging in the things that they're engaging in, but if it's not a little bit bad, then it's a lot of bit bad. You know what I mean? Like, I can't really think of a reason at this point, especially like with the exhibit versus discovery thing. It's like, it would have been so much less of a headache for you guys if it was just an exhibit and you gave us the exhibit number. Now, it could be that you don't know what it is and that it was just in a giant pile of discovery that was handed over in order for you to write up a motion to correct error or whatever, allegedly. And maybe that's the case. Maybe, I don't know. But yeah, so what then, you know, let's assume, okay, let me just do this. Let's assume that Andrew Baldwin gives me, as an attorney, all of the discovery because he's like, I don't have time to write this motion. you're good at that kind of thing, please go write it. I'm just going to give you everything and see what, then you can just pick and choose. Is it as simple as I hold on to the discovery and then hand it off to someone? Is it, I think I genuinely have the right to it? I think, especially because like in that interim period between transferring between the trial attorneys to the appellate attorneys, that, there's some leeway in there where it's like, I technically don't have it. So like if it gets handed over to somebody else, what is that called? The thing that Westerman got accused of? It was like, it was like CON, I forget. Like, no, it was, fuck, I can't remember. Why did the CVS building get torn down? It's a lot. Such an interesting chat. Just kicking back. I'm sorry. Yeah. What's on the recording? Shop my feet. Aries, do you have a channel? If you have a channel, please link it. Conversion. Thank you, ACV. Yes. I was like, confinement, contentment. It's like, what is it? It's a CON, conversion. Yeah, that's another thing. Why do people want discovery so much, especially like the poor record of discovery leaks that have happened in the past? Yeah. And it's a way for people to profit off of it, like, yeah. But yeah. Oh yeah, Aries, if you have a channel. Oh, thank you, Amy. See, Amy is the absolute best. Amy, you were the best. You're all the best. Amy, you're like really, really, really good. I love you, Amy. I love all you guys. Thank you for your kindness. Thanks for the support too, because like it's like, oh damn, I don't wanna have to do this. But they're gonna paint me whatever way. I just need like real people to know that I'm like not that, because like so many of those people have already made up their minds. So like they're too far gone. They're not gonna change up their minds. And some of them are just like, they're not even here for the right reasons to begin with. So they're like kind of not even, like I can't even factor them in as true like people, or like, do you really have any true feelings, or is this just an act? Thank you guys. Thank you. I appreciate all of you. I tried to answer the things that I knew best. All of it is alleged because I can't prove it. I'm also not a lawyer. I've heard it secondhand. I have not heard anything directly from Kathy herself. But I don't know. If there hadn't been so much nastiness, would I have known to look? Like, Prof might have looked because he's better at picking up on those things. Alex, I don't know if he would have looked. I don't think I would have looked, because I was like, well, if the video's out, then of course it originally came from the state, because they're the ones that had the video to make it, or to like, obtain it and extract it, and then just like they're the ones that would have disseminated. And it was like, no, this is more nuanced. So, oh wow, thank you. Thank you, 26 Dead Zombies. You guys don't have to do that. Thank you. I appreciate it, but thank you. But yeah, I don't know if I would have picked up on it had I not gotten the harassment. So, maybe it's a silver lining, I guess. It definitely added more silver to my hair, but it was a silver lining. Oh, thank you, Jay. Yeah. Well, again, like I told Snay, I think it is self-serving in that I am kind of a stubborn asshole where it's like, don't tell me to go away. Like, don't tell me to shut up. Like, don't tell me, like it's in my head and that I'm crazy. You know, there's that. You know, you could ask my parents and they would agree with that. But then there is like a part of me too that's like, there are a whole generation of kids out there that are easy prey. And it starts with, you could have like the best family life. You could have a great family and you could be totally getting lured and catfished and treated terribly online. You could be terrorized online. So that's just like a new normal. And then it's really enraging that we just don't care enough. Like they just didn't matter enough. And it was just fine to bury a ton of things with them, basically, so that our money making opportunities don't stop. I don't know. There's something weird and really gross about that. But, you know, I used to think that this was sadist, like a very sadist thing. And I do think it is sadist in the sense of like the way that it terrorized a community, but it terrorized a community for a purpose. And that was to keep everybody quiet because so many people knew what was going on. So yes, it's sadist in that aspect of like, there's like this glee of getting the power high of doing something as horrific as, oh my God, thank you, Deb. Thank you. You guys don't have to do that. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you. But yeah, I just love that you guys are here. So thank you. Hi, Rock Crusher. So yeah, it's infuriating that people get to terrorize while taking away life, you know. It's just messed up no matter what. Yeah. Look like a hostage. I agree, Jay. See, that's the thing. I feel like she's torn always. And I don't think, I'm not saying that she's good for looking that way, but like I imagine myself in her shoes and I'm like, it feels to me when I look at her like she knows a lot. She can't say, and she feels incredibly guilty and heavy energy because of it, you know? So 07157-0 I don't know any of those things, ACV. I don't know why Michigan, other second largest trafficking hub in America. Yeah, I was gonna say it's a pretty strategic. Hurts my heart to hear stories of young people unalive themselves. Yep, and adults too. And I do think, okay, good night, Old Moore. It was good to see you. Thank you for coming. Yeah, a lot of people. I think people have. I mean, obviously, like we know of, anyway. Yeah, it was so good to see all of you guys. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for your kindness. Thank you for your support. Thank you for the donations. Please never feel that you have to do that, but I appreciate and love all of you guys. I think Alex is gonna go live later. So yeah, that might be fun. But the Canuck, yeah. Yeah, I'm sure there's so much more that's disappeared ACV than we'll ever know, unfortunately. I think that's how a lot of investigations go, but especially this one. But yeah, so if you guys have any questions, leave them in the comments. I'll try to address them the best I can. I'm just letting you know. Oh my God. Mark, what? Holy crap. Thank you. Oh my God. Wow. Thank you so much. Thank you, Mark. Wow. Wow. Oh, I don't even know what to say to that. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, all of you guys. Thank you. But yeah, if you have any questions, thank you. Please leave them in the comments. And again, like always do your own research too, because you know, I don't get everything right. So thank you. So but if I get it wrong, I at least say it. And that's why I'm not gonna say the thing that I retracted, because he says that I'm like re-saying it about him, or oh no, it's if I double down what the person who told me is doubling down on. Okay, yeah. Osberg did not go to Kathy Allen's house, so there we go. Mexico's covering Delphi? What? Wow. Okay. Okay, that's good. Yeah. Yeah. We all die trying to get it right. Yes. It's true. Yeah, knock on wood that nobody dies. Nobody else dies. Not for a long time. And we all have good health and we're happy and not in pain. So Mexico, the cartel. Oh, the cartel. Yeah. Yep. That makes sense. It'll be interesting to see if Christine and Erica ever get to truly talk, you know. That'll be scary, actually. So yeah, actually, you know, there's see, that's why we need a Rico. That's why we need a Rico. There needed to be a Rico a long time ago. So listen to the song. It's a good one. Okay. Okay. I think I know, yeah. Cartel is all through Indiana. Yeah, there's Chicago. Oh, there was the Chicago like the Outfitters or the Outsiders or the oh shit. It's from 2007 where there was a definite case of organized crime and the jury was intimidated and bought off. So that is a good case to look into, and Chicago's right there. Miranda last name. Okay. Instead we get Uncle Rico. It's better than Rico Suave. Yeah. But thank you guys. Thank you for everything. Thank you for the moral support. That means the world, you know. So, and you're watching police helicopters. Okay, just be careful, Jen. Suave, Rico. Yeah, so it was a 2007 case that I think it went to court. It was an organized crime case, and the jury was bought and sold and intimidated. So, looked up what's wrong yet? Yeah. Number could indicate U.S. code. Yeah. Okay, good. Good. All right, guys. Well, I think I'm going to get out of everybody's hair, but I appreciate you all stopping by. Thank you again. And, you know, this isn't a call to arms against the community. This is just defending myself, basically. I'm sick of being lied about. I'm sick of having to like waste people's time with this, you know. I think it does show motivation and like when you're getting too close to the truth kind of thing. So there's that, but yeah, just be wary. Most of these people are, I don't know. I don't even know anymore. Okay. Thank you, Lisa. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like, if the sharp person had just told me what I was lying about, I would love to know, because I know I'm purposely not lying about anything. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Yeah, we are all God's people. That's true. It's always good to be good to people. It's one less headache. No, you guys think I'm all like a good person, but I'm like, I just don't want the headache. And that's why I don't always like, yeah. But I can't even like handle people hating me for like no reason. I mean, I guess I've come to handle it, but that was like why I was like, I just got really lied about and I need to come and tell the people what happened. You might need something. Okay. I love you guys. I'll talk to you later. Sorry. The ADD medicine has worn off, obviously. So, but I'll talk to you guys later. And thank you again. Thank you. And leave questions if you have any. I'll try my best to answer them.